All right, C1x Report, and it's just time for the USDGC. Obviously, I'm a couple days late, trying not to spoil coverage for myself, and things get busy. But as always, we're going to jump into the top cash round, or last cash round, I should say, on moving day for USDGC this past weekend. I don't know who won. I opened up the screen, scrolled down to the bottom of the PDGA live scores, so hopefully I won't spoil it for anybody else either. If anybody even watches this before they watch USDGC coverage, which, why would you do that? But yeah, so last cash after round three was Jakub Semerad. Hopefully I'm close on the pronunciation there. So we're going to be covering his round in C1X. Round three, again, sorry Jakub, looks like not your best round, but of course was playing tough out there this past weekend, so it's all right. Sorry, I'm just looking. PDGA Live looks like they have missed Mando. Interesting. Okay. Anywho, I don't think I've seen those graphics before. Maybe I just haven't looked that closely. But to start off with, we'll get the course in the app, and as of right now, C1X is launched. So if anyone sees this, you can download it for free, Apple or Android. And one thing I did before launch was put all of the Pro Tour courses into the app. So we're going to go to global course list, hit this toggle here for tour courses. We're already on 2025, and I'll just scroll down here. Actually, we'll go to USDGC. Also, throw Prink is up there for the FPO field. This is based off of the A-pin layouts. I think what they played in the second round, or in this third round, differed slightly. They had some B-pin placements. So we'll go adjust those after the fact, but we're going to add the course in. And, let's start the round. So we've got Winthrop Arena. We'll hit confirm. Let's pull up Jakub's scoring here. We'll slide this over so hopefully we can see everything. There we go. Let's throw the round in. All right, so hole one, drive into circle two, miss C2 putt, upshot to 5 feet in for the par. Exact same thing on hole two, to 10 feet for the par. Hole three, drive landed in the fairway, upshot into circle two, miss another circle two putt to 6 feet for the par. Hole four, drive to 15 feet, made the birdie. Hole five, I'm going to make some assumptions just because I know the hole somewhat, but we'll say that now they did move that OB line up on the right a little bit. Let's say landed in the fairway, threw OB on his second, but throwing from the fairway, so throwing 4, and then was able to get the upshot to 14 feet and in for the par. Hole 6, drive to 12 feet, in for the birdie. So 2 down through 6, definitely not a bad start. Hole 7, into C1X, missed the C1X putt, had the tap in from 4 feet. Hole 8, drive into the fairway, upshot into circle 2, missed circle 2 putt, had a 2-foot tap in for the par. Hole 9, another C1X miss. On those B placements, I don't know if there were really any trees in the way, so that might have just been a flat-out miss. But did hit the nice 24-foot comebacker for the par. Hole 10 was not able to scramble, but did hit the fairway off the tee. Trying to remember which one hole 10 is. Par 4 that some people eagle. So drive landed in the fairway, so I'm going to assume that he played the layup, but then went OB on the upshot. Did not have a putt, so he might have just landed short. And then threw the next upshot to 17 feet in the basket for the bogey. So I'm going to guess layup and then win OB from the drop zone without clearing. But I don't know for sure. Hole 11, drive into the fairway, upshot to 8 feet, tap in for the birdie. Nice bounce back. Hole 12, drive into the fairway. Did find the OB, no missed putts. So we'll say throwing from the fairway, throwing 3, threw an upshot to 19 feet, and then in the basket for the bogey. Hole 13, drive landed in the fairway, Upshot to circle 1, and then missed the C1 putt, 8-foot tap in for the par. Hole 14, missed Mando, just a penalty. Had the C2 bid to save the par, but missed it. Hit the 13-footer for the bogey. Hole 15, drive was in the hazard. Looks like throwing from the fairway, no missed putts, so we'll assume third shot was also in the fairway. And then an upshot to 25 feet for the bogey. No, that was a scramble. Undo. We'll start over on this one. Oh. All right, so was hazard off the tee from the fairway. That was only a par 4 though. Okay, so then throwing 3, he did get his upshot inside 25 feet. There we go. All right. So save the par on 15. Hole 16, that's a missed Mando again. Hole 16 missed Mando. Why am I blanking on what hole 16 is? Obviously, I remember 17. 16's not down the tunnel. Don't recall. All right, penalty. This one, so throwing 3. Or no. He was putting from C2, so undo. Penalty from C2. Missed the C2 putt, landed in C1. Missed a C1 putt, and then hit a 20-foot comebacker for the double. 17, looks like he took the safe route out into circle 2. Missed the circle 2 putt, but had the tap in par. And then we still, nope, screen froze. Lovely. That's all right. This isn't the overly important part anyways. Hole 18, drive landed in the fairway. Looks like found OB on his second. Landed in C2. And then missed the C2 putt, but did have the tap in for the bogey. So definitely not the worst front 9. 2 down on the front 9, 2 down through 11. The way the course was playing this weekend, just seeing some of the scores come in, I don't think that's too bad. But that last stretch of holes gets a lot of people, obviously. Well known about Winthrop, and definitely happened to Jakub this round. 17% birdie, very clean front 9. And then kind of fell apart on the back 9. C1x putting, definitely a big story there. I think windy, not the best conditions, and of course playing hard anyways. C2 and reg, C1 and reg are not the worst stats. It's hard to get birdie looks on this course. But 5 OB strokes, no, 6 OB strokes, 6 penalty strokes, I should say, and 4 missed C1X putts. That's 10 strokes. So probably one of the easier just round breakdowns that I've had in terms of just identifying what the issues were. Again, not Jakub's best round. We've all seen him on coverage. Know he's capable of playing much better, but finding a penalty stroke on 40% of the holes and then the C1X putt is a struggle. That'll definitely happens fast at Winthrop, and is a quick way to not shoot a great round. Still over 1,000 rated with 4 missed C1X putts and 6 or 7. How many did I say? Let's just go look at it again. 7 penalty strokes. Excuse me, yeah. 7 penalty strokes. And 4 missed C1X putts. So 11 strokes. Yeah, let's take a picture of that. I don't think I'm actually going to break down the round anymore. Obviously, this isn't something that Jakub's not aware of. I'm sure he was thinking about those penalty strokes and missed putts for the rest of the night. But yeah, that'll do it. That is not a confidence-inspiring round. I'm sure one that Jakub was quick to forget. But we'll go create the graphics now. right, so we got Jakub's round. That was a 3 over 67. Oh, and you know what I didn't do? Let's go update those distances. So we'll take another screenshot here. But we can use this, change distances. 283, 409. Hole 3 was 742. Hole 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hole 9 was 384. 10, 11, 12. 13 was 713. 413, 539, 391. 17 was 254. And then 647. So we'll just hit confirm. And now we've got the right distances in here for the round that Jakub played. So now let's we'll go grab this capture again. And now we've got it to drop into the graphic here. All right, and then we'll go here. We'll grab the latest one, throw it into the graphic. This is officially 1.0.3. Had a couple bug fixes I pushed out after launch, and I'm in the process right now of adding the ability to put some more detailed statistics into the app. So right now, this is the extent of the round breakdown that C1x gives. Still a little bit more than you would get from a UDisc or PDGA Live, with things like random stats like putts versus throws, what distance you were typically putting from during the round, birdie conversion rates, etc. But looking to add some stats to show like how you performed for like forehands versus backhands, throwing hyzers versus anhyzers, whether you were trying to throw like an actual hyzer flight or a hyzer flip or a turnover, showing where you were missing putts, if you were missing putts, left, right, high or low. I'm in the process of adding all of that stuff in, which then when I do these breakdowns is going to require me to actually have an idea of what shots the player was throwing, which means that moving day rounds are probably going to get a little hard to cover. Maybe I'll jump into coverage rounds at that point. We'll see. It does get a little dicey just because I don't think I can just pull up Jona's coverage on my own video. So that might be something where I have to score the round on my own time and then just do the video to recap it. We'll see. But anyways, yeah, so C1x is launched and I'm in the process of getting that update put out. But enough about that. Let's finish going over Jakub's round here. We'll get a good stat in there. Penalty rate, I'm going to move down here. Penalty rate, because that is a pretty telling one as well. Fairway hits was 15 for 18. It's just pretty good. That's actually ridiculously impressive. With 7 penalty strokes, I just assumed that the driving was not that great, but it actually was. 15 of 18 hitting fairway off the tee is fantastic, especially at Winthrop. There's so much OB. So I'm definitely going to throw that one up here. Got our percentage, which was 83%, which is fantastic. Let's go update the round too. That was a 1003 rated round. Oops. 1003 rated round, and then I am going to throw in C1x putting, which we can see in the graphic was 69%. That's nice. And then the penalty rate was 39%, I believe. Yeah. So pretty good fairway hit percentage. That's actually, I think, pretty impressive at USDGC, but definitely had three drives where he incurred a penalty, and then had some upshots, maybe some putts that got away from. Well, no putts, I don't think, unless I guessed wrong on the penalty. But some upshots that got away from him, and those 4 missed C1x putts. 4 missed C1x putts plus not making any circle 2 putts. Obviously hurts. So this is going to be the graphic that goes up on the C1x YouTube channel. We'll go throw together the thumbnail here. I think figured out how to get the accent here if I just hold it down. Yeah. Jakub Semerad. The R in this font kind of makes it look that way anyways. Round grade was 6.48. Again, C1x for these round grades, it does not look at your score. It does take into account the course difficulty a little bit, but putting makes up half of your round grade, so pretty low C1x putting percentage is definitely going to hurt that. And then you're pretty heavily penalized on throwing, so throwing just in general makes up the other half. Pretty heavily penalized for penalty strokes, so 7 penalty strokes plus the missed C1x putts are definitely the two main reasons this was low. Rating wise, I think I gotta give it a sell rating. I've never played Winthrop, but my assumption is that when you're not putting well and you're finding OB a lot, it just feels like an impossible course. It's one thing, you know, if you're throwing the disc really well and just missing some putts, because I think it's definitely a thrower's course, and that's if you're at least getting through the course cleanly, you can afford to miss some putts and still be okay. You don't want to finish around even par, but it does kind of play, especially if the goal is just to finish in the cash. I know that's not Jakub's goal, but when you're sitting in last cash after the third round, that kind of becomes the goal. But when you're finding OB on pretty close to half the holes and also not putting well, then if that were me, I would have very little confidence going into the last round. So, gonna give him the sell rating. I'm not sure how he did in round 4. Maybe we can, well, I won't go check that because I'd have to scroll up, and I could manage to not spoil it for myself, but I won't do that to anyone else. So you can go check after the fact to see whether that was a good call or not. Sell basically just saying that I don't think he's going to finish in the cash. Hope he does, but it would be a tough comeback round. So this will be the thumbnail for the video. This is going to go up on the, oops, keeps freezing on me. This will go up on the C1x Instagram. And yeah, that was Jakub's round 3 at the USDGC. Looking forward to watching the final round. I guess tomorrow is when I'll watch the final round when this goes up, just because that's when Jomez is releasing the coverage. But that's going to wrap it up for the C1x report. We've got the Pro Tour finale, I think, and that's going to be the last one of these. So I'll probably still cover that the exact same way, and then maybe starting next year, if I keep these going, we'll start to jump into some of those detailed stats. Trying to make this a tool for casual players still to get a fun round to score, but also for tournament players, touring pros to really start to break down their game from a statistics standpoint and do a better job of identifying areas for improvement. I know that's something that I need personally. That's kind of why I built the app to begin with, and hopefully it can do the same for others. So these videos are definitely not my forte. I think I'm better at building mobile apps than I am at talking about them, but they're kind of entertaining to make, and it is fun to get a different look at some of these Pro Tour rounds that we enjoy so much watching on coverage. But yeah, I'll shut up now. That's it for the C1x report for USDGC. We've got one more tournament this year, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.